I was asked to share my thoughts on a subject that I probably would have done eventually. Actually, surprised I hadn't done it already. I talked a lot about people's bright lights on bike trails and stuff, but this problem goes back much further than that, even all the way back to my mom being a young child riding her bike. She, as a young child riding her bike, got attacked and bit by a dog. And that was the good old days when, as a result, the dog was destroyed after that happened to her. But I mean, that didn't solve the problem for her. It didn't make the thing not happen. She's been living with fear of dogs ever since her whole life, and she kind of also instilled that into me as a kid. But not only just her instilling the fear of dogs into me, it was also my personal experiences throughout my life. I've never been injured physically by a dog, but I've been chased by dogs. I've had stressful dog situations happen to me. And when I was chased, I was younger, so I was 20. So I've learned since then you shouldn't run, and something that in subsequent and more recent years, upon going for a walk and having a dog actually just heading, just on a straight sprint heading right for me, I was kind of panicking, and I was kind of like, you know what? The unlike when I was 20 something years old or early 20s, the best thing to do probably is just to stay there, stay put. Because if you start running, you don't even see it. It's going to chase you. But if you stay put, faced towards it, let's see what happens. I did have like a hockey stick with the bottom cut off that I take on walks with me at the time. But I extended the hockey stick, stood my ground, and it stopped. And then the stupid owner, which was yards and yards and yards down the street, was like, "Sorry." And it took all I had in me to not just go explode in a fit of just obscenities. But I'm like, I'm going to be the better man. I'm not going to say a fucking word. But that brings me to the topic of dogs, people's dogs in public, just, I guess, people's dogs. And how it's a problem, and it's becoming, I think, even more of a problem. Something that I saw a lot in 2024, a lot more than normal, is like people bringing their dogs on a leash, luckily, on a leash anyway, into stores. And you look for the kind of I don't know what it's called, the service dog. Is it a service dog? You look for the service dog, jacket it's wearing and the service dog branding and stuff, and you see that it has none of that. And it's just like, okay, well, this is just someone's fucking dog. Last year I was in a store where someone's dog was yipping, barking, and it's really loud in a store, in a building. To me, if you have I don't have as big a problem with service dogs, although I don't think I should have to be in any kind of close proximity to dogs. But service dogs were okay, because generally I don't think I've ever heard a service dog bark in a store. But this occurrence with this guy in this other store last year in 2024, it wasn't a service dog, it was just a pet. And it is barking and stuff, and I was looking where I wanted to look, and I turned around and I'm like, "Is that a service dog?" He's like, "No, I'm a service human." Ho ho ho. And I just said nothing and turned back around to do what I was doing. But the fact that he had that answer already, all prepared, to me indicated that he's been talked to by other people in the past about, other customers of maybe other stores that weren't, very happy to have a dog, in their midst. And it's just like, what's going on, It's a bummer. It's like all the pathetic things seem to run rampant and become more of an issue, and like competent things, they don't multiply. The pathetic things in life multiply seemingly at this uncontrollable rate, but competent things not only don't multiply, but they decline numbers of competent things in life. But anyway, I was asked to share my thoughts on dogs in public spaces, cafes, sidewalks, etc. Although I don't spend times on, in cafes, I'm assuming, well, indoor or outdoor, I suppose. I can't really comment on dogs in places to eat or drink. I don't have any experience with that, luckily, but I definitely have experience with people's dogs outdoors. You go to a state park or something, go for a walk, people will just have their dogs roaming free like it's their back fucking acreage that they own. It's like, you know what, when you're in a state park, I think you're supposed to have that hunt on a leash. And was it last year or the year before? I had a confrontation with some people who had their dogs just running free that came up to me. And the thing is, you don't know what the fuck they're going to do. And the thing is, the owner is always just so, well, when I yelled at these people, they didn't say anything. But a lot of times in the past, if you raise a complaint to these people, they're just like, oh, he's harmless. And it's like, well, you don't know that. I've had dogs, I don't know if this is normal. I'm assuming it's normal. Either that or I'm a Terminator T, 100, whatever model Arnold Schwarzenegger was. The film Terminator, they used dogs to identify the Terminators. The living tissue on their metal endoskeleton, they were getting more hard to find in the crowd. But I'd be walking on a trail that's meant for biking, walking, jogging, rollerblading, whatever. And you'd have these people's dogs that they're coming from the other way. They'd be on a leash, and they just bark at you like they want to kill you. And they lunge towards you, and the only thing that stops the lunge is the leash. Catches their neck, and it's like, it's like this dog wants to kill me. How is this a pleasant way to spend a nice, beautiful day outdoors being physically active? We have to come across, you have to worry about whether you're going to be killed by or maimed by a dog on a beautiful summer day when you want to go out and be physically active and be outdoors. So that's what I'm bitching about in this video is people's dogs. Asshole people and asshole dogs. And why it seems to, people, it seems like people don't care. And yeah, I've been at boat launches where people's dogs have just, I've been on the dock doing something, putting a boat in or taking a boat off, and their dog just runs onto the dock with me, and they're, and I said at one instance years ago, I said, I yelled to the owner, I don't want to meet your dog, and then they get offended. I've had one guy say years before that, like I probably said something like, yeah, can you get your dog away from me? And he's like, oh, you pussy. That was the dog owner's response. Don't worry about it. Don't be such a pussy. And it's like, okay. I guess no one else is entitled to have any other thoughts or ideas regarding your dog contrary to your goddamn fucking ideas or thoughts regarding your fucking dog. So, yeah. I kind of got, I kind of got a little more emotional than I think I was intending to get over this, but it's a situation that, and it's funny because I think just in the past 2 or 3 weeks, I was at like 2 stores, and, there was a dog, 2 different, instances where there was a dog on a leash, and it didn't look like a service dog. And, they were quiet, they didn't bark or anything, but it's always this, for me, I go on this, I take on this defensive posture. Like I don't want to have my back to it, I want to just be facing it and just have my eye on it because you don't know what's going to happen. So, obviously growing up with a, mom who had a horrible experience with a dog as a child and her kind of instilling her fear into me. But like I said, it was a combination of that, and not only that, but my personal experience with dogs. And there's some dog peoples, and there's the people that aren't dog people. And I just don't think it's fair that the people who aren't dog people are expected to put up with the dog people's dogs in stores. it's just like, I used to have rats. I've currently got pet mice. I mean, I wouldn't expect, I wouldn't bring a rat into a store and expect people to be comfortable around rats. I know some people don't like rats. Some people don't like mice. I wouldn't like take a mouse in my hand and put it up towards their face. Why can't we keep our pets at home? I keep my mice, I kept my rats at home when I had rats. I keep my pet mice at home. you know. So I guess that's my thoughts on frickin' dogs in public spaces. I think it's completely and totally pathetic, and it really ruins summer. Like when you want to get out on beautiful days, and I don't go anywhere without this, hockey stick with the bottom cut off. I remember, way back when, I don't know when the hell it was, 2013 or 14, I used to go for walks at night during the winter, and it was all bright. You could see so well at night during the winter because of the snow cover. I used to go for walks just with nothing, and then there was at one point, I can't remember, I think, was it someone's dog? I can't even remember. It must have been someone's dog who came running from the other way towards me, and I remember thinking, holy shit, I'm completely defenseless. And I grabbed a stick. I was in the woods, so I grabbed a stick, and I can't remember. I think its owner, so it was like the dog running ahead, and its owner probably called it or caught up with it. Nothing happened, luckily. But ever since then, I'm like, holy shit, I've been, you can't go for walks and not have anything to defend yourself with. Ever since then, I've been walking with, this hockey stick with the bottom cut off, and I've been thinking for years and years I should probably do it. I'm too lazy, but I really should do it, and added extra layer of protection. Maybe put a hammer and nail through the bottom, so I have even more protection. Something sharp, spiky, that if I need to defend myself, I can better defend myself with a nail sticking out of the bottom of the goddamn hockey stick. But this is life. Another thing, not that insurance companies need any more of our fucking money, but I really, really, really think that dog owners should have liability insurance. I mean, we were walking years and years ago on this paved trail that went right by this person's house, backyard, fenced in, wooden high fence. The door was open. This pit bull came out. I can't remember if it was growling. Probably was standing there growling. And, I was walking with my girlfriend, and we kind of just froze. Luckily I had the fucking hockey stick with the bottom cut off, and we just kind of slowly moved on. And I was like, that could have went way fucking worse. And it's like, yeah, these dogs are dangerous. I've seen videos on YouTube of dogs just attacking kids, dragging them off by their leg, little toddler kind of kids. So this just mass acceptance of dogs and more dogs in our spaces from, in my personal opinion, from this Hund unlover, if you will, I don't approve. I've kept my pet rats and pet mice at home. I think you should keep your fucking dogs at home. And if you're going to be out at a state park with your dog, keep it on the motherfucking leash. Unless it's your own back personal acreage, that Hund shouldn't be fucking just running around. And maybe not even then, because what if it ran off its personal acreage? Or your personal acreage that you own. So a little bit of a rant and bitching video, but once again, I was asked to cover this topic by a viewer / listener, so thank you very much for the topic suggestion. Like I say, given my history with these things, I'm surprised I didn't make a recording about this sooner, but I made a recording about it now. So hope you enjoyed. Feel free to share your thoughts. I guess we'll catch you on the next recording.